Go-kart's back out there.
Yeah.
I'll call the meeting to order. Welcome, everybody. Join me for the pledge.
Okay.
Pledge allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll start with the roll call, please.
Callahan.
Here.
Houston.
Here.
Hannah.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Prasada.
Here.
O'Laughlin.
Yes.
Jensen.
Here.
May I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
All- Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 7-0. Next, we'll move to public comment. Dave, did you have any cards back there? No. Ken, do you want to come forward? Sure. Introduce you. This is Ken Mayer.
Yeah.
Hello.
Nice to meet everybody. My name's Ken Mayer. I'm from New Jersey. I'm kind of here representing the group that's buying the IPF, buying the facility down the street. I'd like to, more importantly, introduce the three folks behind me because they're going to be the faces of the company. On the left is Omar. He's going to be the operations manager.
Hey, Omar.
Jared is going to be our plant manager, and Mike here is going to be our facilities manager. So I'm going to be very, very involved in the next 6 months, and then I'll go back to the east where I belong.
Are these guys all from the area, or are they?
Yes.
Great.
Yeah, so look forward to continuing that plant here, bringing in some new jobs, and also to more city council meetings in the future as we work to kind of build a community.
Great.
So you've been, so you.
Oh, wait,
you've
wait,
been-
wait.
I'm
Jen.
sorry.
We're not,
Go ahead.
we're not allowed to ask questions during this.
Oh,
So,
But just so everybody understands, we are intending on producing pet foods at the facility for the most part, as well as some USDA products. It's going to be a little bit different than what was produced there previously. To put everyone's fears to rest, the investment group that I'm here representing is here for the long term. This is not a short in and out kind of deal for them. They want to be in this community for a long period of time. It's demonstrated by the roughly 40 companies that they own in different industries. Some of them they've owned for over 30 years. So they have a long track record of committing to a business, sticking with it, making sure it works, and really working with communities to make that. They are spread all over the country, predominantly in the Northeast, all over the country. I'm happy to be here. I've spent a lot of time in your town in the past 3 months or so. I'll be here a lot. I really like it a lot. It's certainly different than New Jersey, but it's a great place to be. All right.
I hope we can invite you back for more questions with our committee of the whole. Super.
thanks, Ken. I appreciate
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Welcome aboard.
Yes, welcome.
it. Okay, next we'll move to the oath of office. We're going to go, Ralph, do you want to join me?
No.
We'll go up here. For those that don't know what's going on, we finally made Ralph official. Originally, we just appointed him to the position, and now somebody in town decided to elect him. So he's the new elected person. So you could raise your right hand and then state after me. I
I, Ralph Moore,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
do solemnly swear I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa.
and I will faithfully and impartially,
I will faithfully and impartially,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge all duties of the position of at-large city council member
discharge all duties for the City of Independence at large
in the city of Independence and now and hereinafter as required by law.
in Independence for now and hereafter as required by law.
Sure. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You want to sign?
and don't forget your photo op.
Where's John?
He's not here, but we have,
Right, he's just over. Oh, sorry, Mayor. Hi, Chief. Sorry.
I took a photography class in college. I'm good.
Oh,
don't mess around with that.
Here in a second.
Right there.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
Congratulations, Ralph.
You.
Okay, next we'll move to the consent agenda. I need a motion to approve a consent agenda that includes the following: the minutes of the November 13, 2023 regular meeting and the Elm Tree Special Class B Retail Native Wine License Renewal effective November 30, 2023 through November 29, 2024.
So moved.
Second. I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 7-0. Next, we'll move to the financials. With regard to the approval of claims, item number 7, does anybody have any questions, issues with regard to the approval of claims? Hearing none, we'll move to the revenue.
Need a motion to approve.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
So
I'll
moved.
make that motion or second it.
All in favor then?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 7-0. Now we'll move to the revenues and expenses to date. Anybody have any questions about that? That's for information only. Hearing none, we'll move to item 9, which is the transfers. That's information only. Any questions with regard to the transfers? Hearing none, we'll move to item number 10, which is the hearings and ordinances. This is the ordinance that we had discussed briefly at the work session about the discharging weapons, first reading. Brian, I understand you might have a motion before we start here.
I'd like to, Mayor, make a motion that we table this until the January work session. Just, I think that there's some more information that we need to have and some conversations need to be had to make sure that liabilities and things like that are well placed properly.
Is there a second to that?
I'll second it.
I would second that.
How about December, you can't have that?
I saw December might be busy, so I thought it'd give us time. And the good news is, Deb, is that there's nothing that'll affect. It shouldn't affect any residents with the closing of seasons between now and then.
Okay. Would that then be a roll call?
We can do a roll call. I have it.
Okay, we'll do a roll call on it then.
Houston,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Crusader,
Yes.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Jensen,
Yes.
Callahan.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Next, we move to item 11, which is a resolution creating a police lieutenant position and promoting Sergeant Isley to the position. First, I need that motion.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion with regard to this. We talked a little bit about it at the work session. Anybody have anything further that they wish to talk about it?
Chief, how many officers do you have in your department?
12 total. And one of the concerns in the past has been, are we what would be considered top-heavy if we were a small business? The problem we have is we have to operate under when the state passed the Blue Bill, there has to be a clear line of delineation for investigations into improper actions by officers. So this will help that and also help us with our liability. The second thing this does is it creates a more proper position for what Sergeant Isley has been doing. In the past year, he's dedicated, I would say, probably about 40% of his time to the investigation of sex abuse cases. And those take a lot of time, those take a lot of effort, and outside of the work hours that he's been in. When Officer Flatt comes back to us, we'll still be able to keep patrol in the same amount that we have and have a dedicated investigator, which that investigator then serves pretty much at the service to the citizens, not so much of the department. It's about making victims right.
So he'd be your internal affairs person also?
So, yep. So, well, he's the start of it. So the state of Iowa says we have to have
The
the
initial.
start of it, a review, and then my end of it. And so that creates that more delineated line that we need under that. And then at some point, we'll replace his patrol sergeant position because I need somebody on the street to be in charge as well. We're in a unique position. We're small enough that we may not have a supervisor on the street at times. It's just the way it is. But you'll see departments of 3 people have a chief, a sergeant, and a patrolman. Well, but again, it's because you kind of need that to have that line. So that's what we're doing.
Sounds good. Further questions of the chief?
You did say you have 12 full-time.
12 full-time.
And how many part-time?
Well, 0 part-time. We have 4 reserves.
Reserves.
The reserves do get paid after they put in their volunteer of 16 hours a month. they can then get paid. They also get paid for special events. Like coming up when we put it out for the Jingle on Main, the reserves were able to sign up for that as well and help us out.
So they donate 16 hours a month, and then they get paid after that?
That's
what I
correct.
say. Okay.
Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Thanks, Chief.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Persauter,
Yes.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Jensen,
Yes.
Callahan.
Yes.
Houston.
Yes.
Hannah.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Next, we move to item 12 on the agenda. This is the changing of the fees for building permits for the City of Independence. First, I need a motion to approve and authorize the mayor to sign the resolution updating the fees for building permits for the City of Independence, Iowa.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second discussion with regard to this. I know we talked about this again at the work session, but is there questions about it?
Been quite a while since, did you, with your research, Matt, we haven't raised rates in how long?
I don't know how long, but I couldn't find when we did it. So
But it just made
It's
so
been a
much
minute.
more sense to have a one page than a however many pages that was. That was,
well, and to be fair, though, the multiple page document that we have is it's just an extrapolation of the formulas that are listed at the bottom of this. So you could do the same thing with this. The formulas are listed at the bottom. It's easier to just list them that
to
way.
figure it out that way.
Yeah. And also, these fees are pretty much in line with communities of our size.
They're the identical to what Olwine is. And as far as other communities, we didn't research much farther than that because I know when Olwine adopted theirs last time, they did research on it. So we just kind of ran with what they had.
It's a good plan. Looks very good.
Further discussion? Move to a roll call vote.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Jensen,
Yes.
Callahan.
Yes.
Houston,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Persauter.
Yes.
We move to item 13. We'll start with, I need a motion to approve and authorize the mayor to sign a resolution of the City Council of the City of Independence, Iowa, approving the application of Independence Premium Foods LLC to the Iowa Economic Development Authority High Quality Jobs Program.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion with regard to this.
I had several calls from small businesses downtown that are against it because everybody in town everywhere is struggling to get employees. They can't match the $25 an hour. So if they lose employees, how many of our smaller businesses could close down? And we've worked hard to get our downtown, trying to get it built up.
Well, when they were open before, there was a number of them from Blackhawk County that drove down here.
That's true, but they're going to employ 229 people, is that right?
Well, there's 229 that's part of this particular awards program. That doesn't mean that they're going to have 229, and it doesn't mean they're going to have 229 on day one, for sure. But I think the way that IEDA is set up, that's the award itself. I don't think there's any flexibility in it. I believe they tell you what the number of employees are. They tell you what the range is, and the reason they do that is because they're coming up with a certain dollar amount for the award itself, and that's how they're calculating that as part of that. That's my understanding anyway. Matt, is that?
That's how I understand it as well.
Ken, go ahead.
They go a lot. They go into that a lot. And
I can speak to that. So as part of the award, that rate was set forth, and that's part of the High Quality Jobs Act. So that's not a rate that we came up with on our own.
the hourly rate is 120% of the median income for the area.
Correct.
That's by
So
statute.
it's not something that we invented.
Right.
And furthermore, that is an average across the facility, you know. So the local businesses that are hiring service employees, they will come in at a comparable rate at our facility, right? But this $25.94, I believe it is an aggregate across the whole business. So it's not like an entry level person.
In regards to what Deb brought up, this didn't get brought to my attention till this afternoon. I think it was partly because of the articles in the paper and everything, but it came to my attention at about 2:30 this afternoon, and so I started making some phone calls to businesses within our community, prominent businesses that have been around for a while. larger employers and smaller employers, both, combination of both, and asked for their opinions on it and everything. And of the 10 businesses I was able to get a hold of and speak to the owners or managers of those businesses, every one of them was 100% in favor of going ahead with this opportunity based on many different comments from all the different employers, and it was a wide range of employers within the community. And some of the smaller employers that only have 2 or 3 employees said it would be a tremendous benefit for them because some of their employees now, their spouse makes the bigger wage and they are able to have a supplement income in that family by a lower wage. And so they said it's going to benefit us also because it will provide an extra income for people of that nature. So out of 10 business calls to all across the board, every one of them was 100% in favor of it. And that was just since, actually, first call was about 2:45 that I made. So according to the 10 businesses I talked to, they were all in favor of it. So therefore, I have to go with the information I was given.
And we did discuss this at our work session. One of the primary reasons that we needed to discuss it and still need to discuss it is that this is a $1.5 million award, of which the independence match was 20%, so that's $300,000. The expectation is not that we're going to give him a check for $300,000 today. Did you know that, Ken?
That's why I'm here.
You were expecting that check handed to you?
We're sorry to disappoint.
We're talking about various in-kind tax abatements, other types of things to make up the share. And one of the items that Matt and I and Ken met and talked about specifically dealt with the stormwater system. There's a concern that in that particular neighborhood to begin with, Tom, you live in that area, so you can confirm this. There is a drainage problem that we have in that area, and in part it's due to the fact that when Tyson did the addition on there, they put the addition in a position near where the railroad tracks used to be, so the water that was draining down from above is coming straight up to the building, and they can't get their FDA approval if there's sitting water that's by the building. Is that?
Yeah, you're right, Mr. Mayor. It's more USDA related, which is not going on currently at the facility, right? So we're going to be both USDA and FDA. For the USDA, it's a big no-no because they're on site every day. So if they see standing water at the rear entrance where the employees enter, that's going to be a huge issue. And I have to say to the group, I mean, I have full respect that this town has spent money at that facility over the years. I'm just coming in at the new guy, so don't shoot me. But we need to address the problem that's behind the building. I believe it's a problem for some of the residents behind the property as well that have flooding issues that are caused by this situation. So let's work together to remedy it.
Well, and to that point, that's what makes this more of a win-win for the city as a whole, because we get the benefit of fixing a problem that exists for residents as well as this company, and we get to use that towards credit for this $300,000 that we have to provide a match for. I mean, there's not a more positive situation that
I
I've
was
seen.
kind of wondering if we weren't going to need to coordinate with the county, because I know that a lot of the runoff is coming from that farm that's north of the area there.
We may have to, but that's part of what we'll need to look at when we go through the engineering.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what
Yep.
but I think that this is good. When I heard that the Blue Buffalo was moving out, I was frankly a little scared because I didn't want that building to be standing around, and it's fantastic that we have someone that is willing to jump right in, and I think that speaks to our community here too, that they're attracted to it.
I would remind everyone too, I mean, this company's making a capital investment in the community of about $15 million. That's a large, sizable investment. So.
And how is that? Is that toward the building or? equipment or?
A combination of both,
Can we
right?
ask
So
that
it's
question?
equipment, it's the building, it's working capital.
You can ask questions.
It's directly related to the resolution being approved, so yes.
Yeah, so it's a combination.
Now, Ken, I know that you're not haven't closed yet on it. That's coming up at the end of the week, but
Thursday,
is there an expectation as to when, because people are going to want to know this, when you might be operational or
Sure, so in the month of December, we're doing just a very minor amount of cosmetic work to the inside of the facility to get it ready for what we need, bringing in new equipment, doing all that good stuff. The plan is to start operations towards the end of January, slowly. We're working mainly with one pet customer, a very large customer. So we're going to be doing a lot of testing in the month of January, and we'll be, building up, ramping up into the month of March. I heard an earlier comment, so we will not be at the 200-plus employee level for at least 2 years, I would say. Hopefully sooner, but that's the way it stands now. So starting off at a workforce of about 60, by the end of the year, likely over 100, kind of building up.
Did you have to certify a certain number with the state of employees?
Yeah, there is a ramp-up plan that we have to follow, and they audit us. They are going to audit us.
That's part of the High Quality Job Acts.
Yeah.
High qualities, yeah.
Now, to my understanding from talking to some previous employees that were with Blue Buffalo that stuck it out till the end of the final day, they are on the top of the list on potential rehiring.
Sure. That's so. Well before the plant closed, we held a job fair there, tried to inform everybody about who we are, what we're planning on doing there, and Jared can speak a lot better, and Omar can speak a lot better to that. But basically, everyone we're rehiring, except for a few management positions that stayed with General Mills. Pretty much everybody used to work with them previously.
A high percentage, yes. We're obviously open to competitive workforce to come in there, but yeah, the past relationships, they definitely put them in a better position.
And to my understanding, you also are having the same human resource director
So, hold on.
also?
I would suggest we got to stay focused on the topic that's at hand. Those types of questions, I would certainly invite them back for the December 4th work session.
Okay.
5 o'clock on December 4th, we can put you on the agenda and you guys can answer. We can have all those questions and have all that conversation.
Okay.
After close on Thursday, we'd be more than happy to come back and answer any questions.
Yeah, that'd be great. Okay, so further discussion.
Thank you, Ken.
Further discussion with regard to the resolution. Anything further that we haven't talked about?
No.
Nothing further? Then that's a roll call vote.
Jensen,
Yes.
Callahan.
Yes.
Houston,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Persauter,
Yes.
O'Laughlin.
Yes. Passes 7-0. Next, we'll move to item number 14, which is the airport farm lease. So I need a motion to award the airport farm lease to Leon Bachman with a bid of $320 an acre and to authorize the city manager to sign the lease terms.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion.
What's the length of this lease?
I'm looking at it now, and
Is
it's
it annual or
it's through February 2027.
So it's a 5-year lease?
3
Or
years.
a 3-year lease?
3-year lease.
3-year lease.
And there are a total of 59 acres in four separate parcels.
Correct.
Has it always been 3 years?
Yes.
Okay.
And historically, both farm leases have been 3 years.
Seems like I voted.
Further discussion with regard to the farm lease? Hearing none, we'll move to a roll call vote then.
Callahan.
No.
Houston,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Persauter,
Yes.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Jensen.
Yes.
Passes 6-1. Move to item number 15, which is a motion to approve change order number 20 for the Independence Facade Phase 1 project with no change to the contract amount and to authorize the city manager to sign the change order.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. What we're doing at this point with regard to the facade project is that we are, because a lot of the units are done, we had certain money that had been set aside as a contingency fund, And what we're doing now is we're taking money from the ones that are finished that don't need the contingency money, putting it back where it came from, and then the ones that still need the contingency funds, then that money is then being, will then, in a separate motion later on, be allocated. So this is money coming from 203 First Street, which is plush, and the future action is to move it to 217 First Street, which is Adams family. I think if I got that.
Yeah, it is.
I got it
Adams
right.
Furniture, yep.
So discussion with regard to this. Okay, hearing none, this is a roll call vote then.
Houston,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Crusader,
Yes.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Jensen,
Yes.
Callahan.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Next, we move to item number 16, which is change order number 22. You notice that 21 is missing because they didn't submit it, all the signatures on it yet. So 22, I need a motion to approve change order number 22 for the Independence Facade Phase 1 project with no change to the contract amount and to authorize the city manager to sign the change order.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. This is similar to the one we just had, except this one, the contingency funds are being moved from 221 First Street, which I believe is S&K. Again, the future action is anticipated to be 217 First Street, which would be Adams. Any further discussion with regard to this topic?
Is Adams the final one on the,
Adams is the final one of the major construction on the facade program. There are still some punch list items that we're working on, but other than that,
I was going to say, I've noticed some things that probably need to be addressed with,
There's still some things that need to be addressed at a couple different locations, yes. We're working on those.
okay.
enough further discussion. That would have a roll call vote then.
Hannah,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Crusader,
Yes.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Jensen,
Yes.
Callahan.
Yes.
Houston.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. Next, we move to reports, anything that any of you have with regard to discussion. I'll start with you, Jen. Did you have anything, Jen?
Not at this time.
Tom?
Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving, and congrats to the street department for jumping out there this morning,
They were there yesterday.
yesterday. I get my days mixed up. I'm sorry.
I was wondering what they were doing today, but I thought I'd ask you later.
Yeah.
Moving stuff
They all
downtown.
snowed.
That Iowa game just got me so screwed up Friday. I'm just,
Deb? Deb?
Jingle on Main Friday night, 5 o'clock. That's all I got.
Right. Ralph?
I have nothing at this time. Thank you.
Good, Mayor, thank you.
Congratulations on your purchase or your future endeavor, and we look forward to working with you.
Catherine?
I just have what I mentioned earlier, that the Allerton Brewery is having a presentation at 6:30 on the first big fire in Independence, if anybody's interested.
Okay. And I'll tell you all about it. The fire started on one side of the street, jumped to the other side of the street, burned everything down. There's hardly anything left.
You ruined it.
I'm actually going for the pizza.
No, you're going for pizza anyway, right? Okay, let's see. City manager?
The Jingle on Main's already been mentioned. I did want to mention everybody, though, that the Santa shed for that will be in the alley between the Malik Theater and the building there to the south. Typically, that's been at NSB, the bank on the corner. With the construction going on there, obviously, that's not going to work very well, so they're putting it down there. I talked with Nikki about it, and since we're closing the whole area to traffic anyway, kind of made sense to just put it there in the alley, so.
Or what about the park up there in the corner?
We're a little concerned about putting anything in the park right now as far as Bremer Park. Are you talking about up by the
Up by-
tree
yeah.
itself? The issue there is we can't close 150. So you're going to have cars driving in front of it, and because it typically brings up, brings a large
Exactly.
waiting line, we thought it best. And by putting it down there by the Malik too, it helps kind of get people to go down Second Street to down to that area.
Sure.
So
Which we might do something with someday when we have
right.
money.
eventually.
And I'm sorry, what time did you say that started?
Starts at 5 o'clock. The Christmas tree lighting is 5 o'clock, so if I don't get electrocuted, we'll be fine.
Okay.
I want to hear ding, ding.
Yeah,
And hopefully it'll be
I'll get a drum roll to start.
That's right.
warm and sunny.
I did want to mention too to everybody that the city put out via social media and also via press release information about the Housing Committee survey that's related to the grant award that we got for the Rural Housing Readiness Assessment that we're working on. So if you see that on the city's page, if you could share that with people and try to get people to respond to that, we'd appreciate it. I know Ralph has done a good job of taking some paper copies around to people. There is paper copies available at the library. If people need help filling out the electronic piece, if they want to do it electronically and they want help, the library can help with that as well. Laura's been great to work with on that. So other than that, I sent out an email to everybody about MLA. If you have questions or want to sign up for that, please let us know. The city, of course, pays for that for the city council members to attend that. We'd love to see more people attending that if we can. Susie and I have talked a little bit about strategic planning. I know in years past, I think that was done in November and December.
Excuse me.
With our conversations, especially with revenues and budget and all that stuff, I'm planning to do that in late January, early February, because by that point, we should have a better handle on the budget, on where we are, so then we can do strategic planning based really on what we can afford to do. With that at least being a part of the conversation. It doesn't have to drive the whole conversation, but it's good to know where we are, financially before we start planning what we want to do. So that's all I got.
I think most of you were there at the joint session with the school district and the county and ourselves. I thought it was a very productive session. I thought everybody had good ideas. Unfortunately, everybody's got the same problems with regard to budgeting and finances, but other than that, the other thing is with regard to Jingle on Main, even though the Gedney's not open, they're going to do the Santa Claus phone from that location. So the kids that want to come in and talk to Santa, they'll have a phone line hooked up in there. So I guess they must be far enough along on the construction at this point that they think they can do that. They're still projecting to open after the first of the year. That's all that I have. Dave, anything from you?
No, thank you, Mayor.
Brett? No other department heads? Then I need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Let's go home.
Let's go home.